Hey guys, today we got a skill preview for the new LD SSR in Etheria Restart. So let's check it out to see if she's gonna be a must pull or not, because she's going to come with a very heavy price tag after the yearly banner. So is she worth it? Is she going to replace your Ditting? Is she gonna be insane in PvP? Let's check it out.
LILIAM is an offensive type animus who embodies burst damage, execute mechanics, and crowd control. With control immunity for her passive, she ensures constant actions, while her
Control immunity
mechanic and AoE stun allow her to dominate the battlefield. Additionally, her shield piercing and HP reduction abilities make her highly effective in PvP. Skill 1.
She's gonna dominate my wallet, that's for sure.
Deals damage to a single target and heals herself for a portion of the damage dealt. Exclusive passive.
So skill 1 is a very simple skill, surprisingly. Deal 1 instance of damage to a single target and heal herself. So it's going to be similar to having count on your character, but only for skill 1 though.
To a single target and heals herself for a portion of the damage dealt. Exclusive passive grants her immunity to all crowd control and turn meter minus effects.
What the? That's gonna be... Bro, that's really good. Like, that is actually really good. I think this is the first character in the game that is immune to crowd control, as we are moving towards the bruiser meta. And also we saw Keka on the World Championship stage. He demonstrated the crowd control playstyle, very strong. And she's not only immune to all crowd control. I'm not sure if this is gonna include taunt or not, because the wording in this game can be a little bit vague sometimes, but I assume this is going to be immune to sleep, freeze, and stun, which is really good, because what is the main control character in the game right now? We got Obo for the stun, Kraken for the freeze and turn meter pushback, and Kazuyo for the sleep, and she will pretty much laugh at all those three characters, and she will also laugh at the Kraken turn meter pushback and Marvel pushback, and I think Mio also pushback, Klaus also kind of pushback a little bit. There are a lot of control characters in the game that has pushback in the kit, and she's immune to that too. That is really strong for PvP, guys. Like, they are showcasing this character in the boss because they are recording in a test server, so there's no real PvP. But she's gonna be very, very good in PvP as a solo carry damage dealer in whatever comp you're using, pretty much.
Immunity to all crowd control and turn meter minus effects. Skill 2 deals 2 instances of single target damage. The damage increases based on the target's missing HP. If the target's HP falls below a certain threshold, it is guaranteed to be stunned. If the
Guaranteed. So if I understand correctly, that is going to ignore resistance, ignore the base resistance as well. So in this game, there's going to be the 10% base resist that every character will have. No matter how much accuracy you have, you will still miss control once in a while or miss your debuff. That's why Doki Doki is a very frustrating dungeon for a lot of early game player. But by this, it means she will stun regardless of the enemy resistance and also ignore the base resistance. It also means that you can build her without accuracy. So for a damage dealer that comes with debuff, like Rosa or Yeli or other character in the future that comes with debuff, let's say Oboro. Nobody use Oboro. So you kind of have to build a bit of accuracy on those characters to land your debuff properly. And for this character, she doesn't need that accuracy, because the moment their HP fall below a certain threshold, she's going to guarantee the stun, and that is really, really good.
it is guaranteed to be stunned. If the attack kills the target, all enemies are guaranteed to.
What the What? She can AoE stun if she killed her, so that's a pretty tough condition right there. But let's say you're fighting a less tanky team, then if you manage to get a kill, that stun is going to be huge for the rest of the match.
Be stunned. Ultimate skill grants herself increased attack and increased speed, then deals.
For a damage dealer to buff her own attack and speed, that is really, really good, because in this game, you can overstack crit rate with your gear, right? You can have like crit rate, crit damage build, and achieving maximum crit rate is not exactly very difficult. And I think her dupe's going to give her like crit rate bonus as well. So giving speed in in the kit is just like really good because you cannot like stack speed in the gear unless you're lucky with your substat roll and you're lucky with your shell roll. But having own speed buff is pretty amazing.
Then deals massive single target damage. If the target's HP is above a certain threshold, the damage is increased. This attack ignores shields and reduces the target's max HP by a portion of the damage dealt.
Is that a direct insult to Tiamat? Oh my god. All right, so she buffed her own stuff and she deal massive single target damage. I'm not sure, what a frame to be pausing at. We don't know whether it's going to be like multiple instances of damage because the AI voice didn't say anything about that. Like how it described, let's say this, deal 2 instances of damage. This just say big damage, but the animation shows that she's slashing the enemy multiple times.
Damage is increased. This attack ignores shields and
I'm
reduces the target's max HP by a portion of the damage.
There was no like, you know, the when you hit an enemy and you do damage, there's gonna be like screen shake, impact, frame kind of thing. But the screen wasn't shaking. So maybe those were just like animation and she's only doing 1 instant of damage. But then they equip her with revelation. So I'm not sure if that means or indicate anything, but
above a certain threshold, the damage is increased.
So this is very good for her to start the battle, right? Like her skill kit is so synergistic. So she started the battle with self-buffing, and then when you have high health, she deal more damage. When target HP is above certain threshold, she deal more damage. She ignores shield, and she will reduce your target max HP. So I think it's gonna be similar to like Doki Doki, the dungeon, where you take damage, and a portion of the HP that you lose will be lost forever. So that is really, really scary, especially for the HP bruiser meta that we are moving into. And also people are trying to use like shield with like Holden to kind of survive the cleave meta. And she ignores shield and she permanently damage your bruiser damage output. Because let's say Tiamat, who rely on her HP, or Lilith, who rely on the HP to perform really well, and she can take that away in the very first turn. That can be very, very good. And she, after that, let's say you lose a bit of health. It's kind of funny. Look at that guy. Then she can stun you in the second skill. So the battle will last a bit longer and you start losing health to other character damage as well. Then she can potentially stun your entire team, guaranteed, by the way. So she doesn't care about accuracy and can still do a lot of work on your team, which is really scary. And then when you're about to kill her, or let's say you can't kill her because you can't stun her, you can't lock her down properly, you didn't bring attack break in your kit, and you're trying to kill her, she heal back with her skill 1 while having attack buff. Let's say you pair her with like auto shell to buff her damage as well. So she's gonna be a bit harder to kill compared to the normal damage dealer. Let's say you kill a Ditting very easily. It's not a problem. Ditting is a glass cannon. She is a glass cannon. No, she's more like a rock cannon now, because you can't control her, and she might stun you, and she might just one-shot your bruiser right at the start of the match. So a very scary PvP damage dealer, because I don't think right now there's any dungeon in the game, like the harder one, let's say Rengokutsu or Shadowflame Hoyen, that require damage dealer to ignore shield. And I don't think this HP reduction effect is going to work on bosses, because I've never seen this kind of effect work in other game against bosses. So I assume they're trying to sell people a PvP damage dealer. And they're probably going to be very successful at doing so, because let's say for most free-to-play player out there, right? You did your Dreamscape. You use all your gem on maybe key refreshes, or you did not. Or maybe you did not get the gem, you refresh key to get more Lattice pieces. You're now very low on gem. Like, this is going to be the character that will potentially make you spend money, because we're at a point where a lot of people are kind of done with PvE per se. Whether you're free to play, a try-hard free to play, or you're a spender, you are kind of okay with all the PvE section of the game. And when you start pushing for PvP, you want a damage dealer that looks like this, that is immune to control effect, that buff herself so that she's easier to slot into a team. You don't have to babysit her as a damage dealer. And she has an effect that will be very relevant in the future meta. Let's say they nerf Revelation. They allow the bruiser meta to take effect very, very strong in the upcoming weeks of the game. then this is gonna be a relevant damage dealer that's gonna be light and dark, which means you don't have to care too much about the element situation that you pick her. You can always pick her together with your Yelly, for example, right? So Yelly AoE defense break, and then she come in and she absolutely destroy whatever the thing that is presented in front of her. And if you pair with Lily, which you might have, then Lily is gonna allow her to skill 1 immediately, or skill 1 consistently, and then she can heal herself, and then she can spam her skill 3 back to back. And that is very, very scary, right? So I think overall it's a very strong PvP damage dealer. I don't think she's gonna be amazing for PvE. Like, you can use her, but I wouldn't say that she's that crazier than Ditting. Ditting can also buff his own damage and his own crit rate with the passive. So Ditting is still a very good PvE damage dealer. So you don't have to like pull her for PvE, but for PvP, this is really good. Like, she got stun. Stun is not very relevant in dungeon, right? Except for like maybe Doki Doki. But stun is not going to help you with Aurora. Stun is not going to help you with Rengokusu Inferno maybe, because you are not going to kill the boss to like stun the ads. So she's going to be mainly a PvP damage dealer. For me personally, I didn't pull for Yelly, so I'm now very, very good with hitting her pity on the banner. I have like 100 LD pool, so I have no problem hitting pity for this character, not a problem at all. But for you guys, I'm not too sure about that. I hope you can pull her, because I think she's gonna be a very good PvP damage dealer. Like, oh my god, she's gonna be so good. If you are like a, let's say, not super endgame PvP player, you build a certain group of SR character to play PvP. You have Obo, you have Kraken, you have Marvel, you have Kazuya, because you build them for PvE. You're gonna go into PvP and you're gonna fight the pay to win player that has her. And it's gonna suck a little bit. You have to maybe pre-ban her, but the problem with lower rank PvP is that you cannot pre-ban her. So that's another problem. So even though I think she's really good, I think if you are a PvP player, you should pull for her. But I also think that this is gonna be the first one where after a week of the banner release and people start building her up and maxing her out and people play PvP, you're going to instantly feel that, oh shit, as a free-to-play, I'm not going to get her. And there's really no way to get her. And I have to really find a way to counter her. But it doesn't mean like she's broken, right? You can still one-shot her. You can outspeed and do big damage to her. She will die to normal damage. But if you're trying to control her, it's gonna suck. So don't try to control her. She's weak to being one shot. So find ways to one shot her. But if they pair her with Valerian, like if they pair her with Reviver, oh my god, that's gonna suck, guys. And she can also be on Bloodbath, right? If you want to build a trap build for your LILIAM, let's say you put her on your defense, your Union defense, your Arena defense, you can build on Bloodbath, and you can't one-shot her maybe for some reason, and she move and one-shot you. Oh my god, that's going to be crazy. On count as well, potentially. Man, a very good character at a very right time to sell a PvP character. I see you, XD. I see you right there. But hey, this is all chatting before we actually play with the character. So maybe she's not going to be that strong. Maybe she's going to be okay and mid at best. You never know, right? But that's it for me. And let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I can't wait to read your comments. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.